Hi, my name is Jeffrey Schneider, and I'm an enrolled agent, and this is We Got Your Back Taxes. I have with us Michael Ciardi. What is a home equity conversion mortgage in layman's terms?
Okay. Home equity conversion mortgages, better known as HECM, has been around since 1988. It was enacted with the sole purpose by Congress and signed into law by Ronald Reagan to allow a mechanism for retirees to obtain money from their housing wealth to be used for any legitimate purpose without having to make mortgage payments.
And there is a more common name, and that is reverse mortgages.
It is a reverse mortgage because the interest and any fees accrue and are paid back when the borrower leaves the home permanently.
Let's talk about some of the requirements. You mentioned the word retirees. Now that was the premise behind it, but you don't have to be retired to take advantage of a reverse mortgage or a home equity conversion mortgage.
That's absolutely true. And if I could just take a moment and tell you what the retirement landscape looks like. It's a different face of retirement right now. It's a different world. Retirees, as you know, we're all living longer. Every day, 10,000 people turn 62. You hear the term boomers. Boomers is this large age group between the ages of, we were born between 1946 and 1964. There's 65 million of them in the United States. 87% of them own homes, and 68% of them have mortgages on those homes. Basically, we're living longer, which is the good news. The bad news, we're living longer, and therefore people need to have planned for a very long retirement. They're more in debt than their parents were. About 75% of them, it's said, currently don't have enough money to make it through retirement. And they have four major concerns. You know, as I mentioned, will they outlive their money? Will they be able to maintain their lifestyle? Will they be able to access emergency cash when they need it without creating a tax problem? So those, are they going to have money left over to leave as a legacy to their heirs?
In brief terms, explain exactly what is a home equity conversion mortgage, reverse mortgage, and what does that do for the person, for their retirement, or to help them fund their retirement?
Well, as I said, must be aware, it is just a mortgage. It's just got some major differences. It's extremely flexible. There's no requirement to make mortgage payments, although you could pay principal, you could pay interest, but there is no requirement to make payments. The mortgage is based on the value of the home. And someone typically 65 could get probably about 50% of their home value as either a lump sum, a line of credit, a stream of payments every month. They go, I need $1,000 a month to supplement my other retirement income. I could get money over a specific period of time. Let's say I want to forestall taking Social Security. People have heard many times if you waited till age 70 rather than 65 or 66 to retire, you would get additional money from Social Security. In fact, it's 32% more. So it might be worth it in your strategy to use the equity from your home to live on and wait till 70 to get more money when you actually do file for Social Security.
And one of the biggest requirements of this, before anybody, for our audience to understand, I am 59 years old,
right.
I do not qualify.
That's correct.
62 years old or older. That's why you mentioned the word retirement, but it's anybody, because back in the day when you were 62, I retired. That was Social Security, when Reagan signed this, that was the retirement age.
Right.
So you can't get it. Now, you mentioned something that if I was 65, I could get 50% of the value. So it is your age that dictates how much you can get?
There are three things that go into the formula to determine how much money you qualify for. It's basically the value of the home up to a maximum of $625,500. That's the most they'll consider. If your house is worth more, that's fine. Good for you. You have to be 62. At least one of the borrowers has to be 62 or older. There is a special consideration for a spouse that might be younger than 62, and I can talk about that later. And it also looks at what the interest rate is at the time. So those are the three things that determine the amount of money. And we use a rule of thumb 62, 65, you're good for about 50% of your house value. And again, it will go up as you get older in age, and people can get up to 60+% of their house value, depending on when and why.
Sorry, and one of the things that you mentioned, I don't know if my audience even caught it, you mentioned you can get lump sum, you stream of payments like an annuity.
That's correct.
You can get a line of credit, which we talked about yesterday in my office, but as opposed to the old days, when you went to get a reverse mortgage, basically, let's just do the $150,000, here's your check. And the closing costs back then were astronomical. Things have totally changed in this product. What are some of the other differences from the old days to now?
Well, I do want to stress one other thing. This loan, as I was talking about, is just a mortgage, but those extra features are, it is federally insured. That is such a key piece of this. This means if your house is worth less than the mortgage that you have outstanding, you never pay more than your house is worth. And that's where insurance comes in. And we talked about this yesterday in your office. It doesn't create a tax ramification. Maybe you want to speak to that a little bit.
Well, what is meaning that is, just say, for example, you have a house that is worth $300,000, no mortgage, and you now take 50%, $150,000 out. And then we have another 2006, 2007 market where everything tanks. Your house is now worth, not only is it worth not the 150, say it's worth $100,000. Normally, if you have a house that's worth more than, or your house is worth less than what your mortgage is, and you get rid of the mortgage, you have what's called cancellation of debt, and that's possibly a taxable event. But in this case, because of the insurance, you have no cancellation of debt.
That's correct. And basically, there's no deficiency judgment against your estate or your heirs. It's basically, it is insured, the lender is kept whole, there are none of the negative consequences that we had during the housing bubble. So that's certainly extremely, this non-recourse feature is enormous as a benefit for retirees.
And one of the things that you mentioned, you said it very quickly, and I caught it just now, is that you said your heirs, if your house, the bubble bursts, and your house is worth less than what you owe, your heirs, in the old days, your heirs are on a conventional mortgage, your heirs are responsible to pay that off, or the estate has cancellation of debt.
Absolutely.
Your heirs are not responsible for this. They're clean. So this is really a good thing for that.
Yeah, it's an awesome thing, no doubt. So I'm so pleased to be able to tell people about it. As I said, it's been around since 1988. People don't know about this unbelievable program, and so that's my job, is to go out and really tell people about it. Now, I know some people are starting to, they're starting to hear more about it. You're seeing it on TV. You've read something about it. We've had Fred Thompson talk about it, Fonzie talk about it on TV, and basically one of the good things is they're getting the word out, and they're also dispelling some of the myths that exist out there about a reverse mortgage.
All right, in the last minute, and we want to have you back. We have a lot more we have to talk about.
Thank you.
But just tell people how they can get in contact with you, as opposed to listening and get those free brochures, which they're going to send you, are going to confuse you anyway. How they can get in contact with you to understand this product.
I serve all the coasts, the Treasure Coast, the Gold Coast, and the Space Coast. You can call me at my office. It's 772-212-1450.
Well, this is a very interesting time. When I discussed this with you yesterday, my mouth was like some of the things. And we'll have Mike back to talk more, and we have some other questions, but I appreciate you coming. Thank you very much. And my name is Jeffrey Schneider. This is We Got Your Back Taxes. See you.